Okay, a lot has happened since the last time I videoed. As you can see, the car is now on a trailer. The plastics stuff are all in, partial shelf in, boot area sort of finished. The interior, excuse the jammy dodgers, interior is all in, albeit needing to clean. All works. So it's time to get this thing to a show. I had promised for months that I would get this to a show called the Summit Run in Native Parkinson's. So it's in Derrylin, Northern Ireland. And as much as the car isn't mapped, I thought I'd make the effort to try and go down anyway and show support for the cause. So it's loaded up onto a trailer. The car does start and drive, as you all know. So it's just a matter, hopefully, of driving it off the car or the trailer whenever I get it there and parking it up at the show. So, made it to the show, got it all cleaned up, parked up beside a couple of friends' cars. Rain has just literally come back on now after I've got it all chamoised off, but it is what it is. It's a good cause to support today, so appreciate the invite down to it. You can see some of the stuff here is unreal. It's the Irish Escort Club that have organised this, I believe. So mainly escorts and rally spec stuff, but it is full of lovely Fords. In fact, lovely cars of all mark, really. See down in the corner down there, we'll have Frank Kelly's yoke, baby blue. Lovely to actually get to see this in the flesh. I've always seen YouTube videos and footage and pictures of it, but nice to see it. But yeah, overall, very happy. Make it out to the first show. Okay, so we're now back after the show, and I've had a bit of playing about with the ECU. I had the motivation now to actually get going with this thing. The idle valve wasn't wired up correctly, so hence why the wires are bare. But we're getting there now. I've had this thing up the road. A friend of mine, Alex, has helped me to get a bit of a base map going to allow it to boost, basically, with map compensation and stuff in it. So we went through all the basics, checked everything. We're just trying to get it finally tuned now. Let's see. So, I don't know if you can see this or not, but we're in the Emerald software here. So I'm just waiting on Alex to email me back a map. Then I can fire it in and hopefully go for a drive and do some logging. In the meantime, while I'm waiting on him, I want to try and get my Mac valve ripped back out. After taking it up the road and wastegate pressure, I have decided that's enough for now. No point in complicating things, so I'm going to rip the Mac valve all out and get the wastegates plumbed back up the way they should be from factory. So that's next. Enjoy. So we have the map running. I'm just letting her get up the temperature here. If I can get her up the temperature, she's starting to lean away off on me because the coolant enrichment stopped. So I need to trim a bit of fuel into her, I think, but I just need to see what the AFR reads at coolant temperature sort of reached its top. Okay, this episode is all over the place, fully aware of that. It's been ups and downs, very many downs and a few ups, but finally I'm at a place now where I can resume videoing without my head being fried. Had the car out in its first run, ran out of petrol in its first run, standard. The issues I was having with fuel, I might not have got into yet, can't remember to be honest, my head's been pickled the last couple of weeks. Basically, I had the aftermarket pump fitted, it got noisy and overheated and then quit. So I thought, right, it must have been a bad cheap pump, so I bought another one. It did the same thing. After a couple of minutes up the road and back, it got really noisy and just fuel pressure dropped the way back to maybe, instead of the 3.5 bar the regulator sets it to, it had dropped the way back to maybe 1 bar at best, so it wasn't great at all. I thought, right, must be these cheap pumps. I'll fire my genuine one in from the red car, just a standard 2.8 pump, and it was starting to get noisy, but I had learned my lesson and I turned the car off immediately and didn't let that pump get ruined. So went investigating, checked the fuel filter to see if it was blocked, checked the fuel pressure regulator, spent a good few hours anyway checking everything. In the end, turns out, and I'll try and put a picture up on the screen here if I remember, of the culprit. The feed into the pump from the swerve pot inside the swerve pot filter was blocked. I mean, not fully blocked, but it was definitely restricting the flow to the pump, and it was then obviously overheating because it was running dry, not getting lubricated, and it wrecked the pumps on me. So I took the easy route out and took the fuel pump off, blew back up into the swerve pot to blow out the filter, then blew back from the filler neck and pressurized the tank, and blew the crap out of the fuel pump outlet, and my word, then went to crap that came out of there. Now this tank was obviously one you've seen me weld the bits into it. I meticulously cleaned what I could see. So the inside of the actual tank was clean, there was no debris left in it whatsoever. Blew out, brake cleaner, wiped out everything. Turns out this was inside the swerve pot filter somehow. I can only surmise that sometime in the tank's life, somebody has painted the fuel pump outlet or something. It seems to be like a bit of melted paint. So yeah, I think that should be the end of the fuel problems. I've had it out maybe 20 or 30 miles now, and the only thing that went wrong was I ran out of fuel, which of course I blamed the car for. I thought it had done the fuel pump thing again. But anyway, now it's sort of half running right. A big thanks to my friend for helping me sort the ECU map out. He knows who he is, but doesn't want to his services publicised, so thank you. We've now got the map in a certain place that it's running rich everywhere, not by much, but it's on the safe side rather than running lean. So it still needs to go to the rolling road to the dyno, but for now it's roadworthy. Just a bit of an update on where the rest of the car's at. I have had to swap the front springs out because the springs and helper spring arrangement that was in there, you couldn't take it up the road without thinking the front end was going to fall off. It was just banging on every bump, so I now have 180 pound 12-inch springs in, and I have reversed the top hats and the top mounts and stuff as well. So once that was done, it now drives a dream. I've softened the shocks up in the rear as well. and I'm waiting on a new lambda sensor for the AEM wideband. It's just being a bit erratic. I'm about to start wiring the fuel gauge in after yesterday's incident to run out of fuel. I'm going to wire the fuel gauge in. I'm going to wire all my inputs into the dash for my side lights, indicators, headlights, full beam, all that crack. I'm going to get my car all cleaned out. As you can see, it's a state in here. And before I go to this show, I'm going to a show tonight, another one. I'm actually going to hopefully drive there myself, this one. But before I go to the show, I would like the GoPro setup inside. So you might remember a long time ago I got a wired remote for GoPro set up from Wired Remote for GoPro. So it's finally time to get that set up so that I can record the bit of road footage for you. And it has the intercom in option, so I'll hopefully be able to wire my wireless microphone into it to get the sound quality that the turbos deserve. Enough blethering, I'm going to start wiring. I do apologise for this video. I know it's sort of been half-heartedly recorded, this one, because I was fed up, to be honest. Life had got very busy and I'm just fed up recording and not seeing any progress with this because of the fuel issue and springs and just a load of different things. So hopefully we're back on track. You've got a Granada video out last weekend and hopefully this one will be out this weekend, all going to plan. So yeah, onwards. Okay, so I'm having some issues, running issues. Car is not running right. It was running right, but it is now not. It's misfiring from the driver's side somewhere. I have swapped the coil packs from side to side, didn't fix it. Changed the plugs for other ones, didn't fix it. So basically whenever you go on, you're driving along under no load, it's not really an issue. As soon as you start to feather the throttle on, the AFR mixture goes lean and the car starts to sort of hesitate and splutter a wee bit, and then it does eventually pick up whenever the other cylinders build enough boost to keep going. So what I'm wondering is there an air leak? I always thought that if the mixture ran lean, it was because, or if there was a misfire or whatever, it would make it run rich. But from looking it up, apparently it's actually oxygen sensor. So basically, if it's working correctly, there's less oxygen.
Well, but I dig you, babe, I'm sure you can tell. Can I help it if I want you tonight? Long and tall with that slender groove. I love your smell and the way you move. Can I help it if I want you tonight? When we dance, baby, this head close. It's like I'm poison with a lethal dose. Can I help it if I want you tonight?
Okay, last night was a late one. Still not 100% there, but it's definitely a bit better than it was. Basically, there's a misfire under slight load, so I thought it might have been a coil pack breaking down. Swapped the coil packs from side to side, changed all the plugs, gapped the plugs, still sort of the same. Thought then it might have been an air leak, so took the whole plenum off, and there was a bit of an air leak around the vacuum hose with fuel pressure regulator, so I've it sorted. It's definitely a lot better than it was, but there's still a slight hesitation under load. I'm thinking it might be down to mapping now. The car obviously hasn't been mapped yet. The dyno that the fella I use has broken down, so it's been between me and a friend of mine trying to get it sorted. We're very nearly there. It's running lovely apart from this slight hesitation. If you put your foot down gently, you're cruising along, say 2,500 revs, put your foot down gently, it starts to misfire and lean out a little bit. It's not overly happy. But if you take your foot back off the throttle again and stomp it, then it's grand. So it might be map related, don't know. I'm not up on these things, to be honest. But fluids are all checked. I've done maybe 200 miles in it so far, and I've only run out of petrol twice, so we're going well. But I've done 200 miles, and the mechanicals of the car seem 100%. There's nothing to worry about there. It's just this mapping issue or the misfire issue. So yeah, show on this morning. Should be working on the car, but there's a show on they've asked me to go to for a long time, so I'm going to head to that. It's for a good cause. And trial fit, kid seat does fit into the, and not going to say Recaros, into the Corbos. So yeah, I'm going over home now to pick up the child, and we're going to go to the show. So enjoy. Okay, I hope you can hear me. Been to the show. I'll put a picture up of the car at it in case you don't believe me. But been to the show, and I'm now on the way home. After doing a bit more investigations with the whole misfire thing, I'm now 99% sure that it's map based. I have went into the map and added more fuel in different areas, and it's definitely helped. I think I need a bit more. For instance, on the map sensor there, with the number 1 being atmospheric pressure at 0.9 to about 1.2 in the map sensor is where the misfire is now. Well, not misfire, it's sort of like a spluttering really. So I think it needs more fuel between those ranges in the map compensation cable. It's not that we are meant to do it, but if it gets me by for now, it'll do to get it properly set up. So yeah. Hopefully, whenever I get the test to pull over, I'll get the laptop out and do that and see if it helps. Who put these flipping cones in the middle of the road? Okay, it's time to wrap up this very random episode. Again, apologies, it's been a bit of a nightmare few weeks. A few months probably. I don't know how long it is since the last Capri episode, but anyway, we are fairly well on. The inside of the car is nearly there. Needs the radio put in, that's one of the next jobs. It's all cabled, all the speaker cable and all is in the doors now, ready to go. It just needs to literally power, ignition live, and earth to the radio and wire the speakers up and have a radio in. These all cleaned obviously. Hopefully the dash knows into the last time. The ECU have finally worked out how to get an Emerald K6 with a wideband sensor. So it's all done and working on the dashboard and the ECU, so now I can actually do a bit of closed loop tuning hopefully. Yeah, it's fairly well on for this road trip next week. This is now Wednesday, so this time next week I'll be going home hopefully to get into bed, get ready for going the next morning to Cornwall. Wish me luck. I'm going to try and bring you with me hopefully to Cornwall, do a few updates and document the road trip. Hopefully there's no breakdowns, but if there are, I'll let you know. For now, that is going to do me. I never thought I'd say the words in this episode, to be honest, but it's going to do me. And if you've made it this far, I really do appreciate your your views. Do check out my website. The link's up in top right, hopefully, where you'll find merchandise. There's t-shirts, there's stickers, and 3D printed bits and pieces on there as well. So, yeah, check those out for me. There's hopefully a new range of Granada stickers and t-shirts coming out, and I have the Capri logo being done at the moment as well for some nice Project Xpack merchandise. Every little helps and all that. So, yes. I'm going to go now, and there will be hopefully one more video before I go to Cornwall if all goes to plan. The last few bits and pieces and some test drives, bits and pieces hopefully just to check everything's going well. Hope you've liked what you've seen. If you do, please hit the like button, share button, and give it a wee subscribe as well, please. Every click, every subscribe helps the channel grow. So yes, until the next time, bye.